Embarkation hits fast. Beep, you're in. Elevators are packed. The spa waves a tour to win. The app throws a today-only bundle. Someone hands you a souvenir cup before you find your muster station. Not random, it's designed to warm up your card. Prices can move, free perks point to paid versions, and little layout choices nudge what you buy. Today, we're opening the side they don't market. 25 cruise secrets for 2025, shiny upgrades that hook you, fare changes after you book, Wi-Fi rules with teeth plus $0 dining moves, and how the ship's systems guide your spending. Quick roll call. Which secret have you suspected, and which one do you want proven on your next ship? Comment below, keep it to the secret, and we'll run through them together. Right before you sail, an email lands. Exclusive upgrade. At check-in, someone offers a balcony or suite for just a few hundred more. More space is tempting, who wouldn't want it? Here's the trap. Those upgrade deals rarely save you money. Many times, you'll pay more than if you'd booked that category from the start. And higher doesn't always mean better. An inside-to-ocean view bump under the pool deck means 6 a.m. Chair dragging every day. A forward balcony can rock more and even lose part of the view. Cruise lines use upgrade like a magic word. It's often just leftover inventory. Sometimes you win, often you don't. Insider move. Study the deck plan before you bite. A smaller, quiet midship cabin can beat a higher category in a noisy or awkward spot. Don't buy the label. Make sure it's a true upgrade in quality, not just a higher code on paper. If labeling tricks cost you, timing pays you back onto post-booking price drops. Booking doesn't lock your fare. Cruise prices move all the time, and sometimes they slide by hundreds without warning. If the price drops before final payment, you can usually match the lower fare. Call the cruise line or your travel advisor and ask for a reprice or onboard credit for the difference. Royal Caribbean and Carnival often approve on the spot. Others might offer a future cruise credit instead. Catching the dip is the game. Set fare alerts on apps like Cruise Watch or Shipmate, or just check your booking page once a week. It's a 2-minute habit. Once final payment hits, your leverage evaporates, so timing matters. It's not just cabins either. Wi-Fi, drink packages, and shore excursions fluctuate too. See a lower price? Cancel and rebook the add-on at the new rate. Typically no penalty, no drama. Do this consistently and you'll shave a few hundred off almost every cruise. And there's a reason some great deals never seem to show up for you, even when you're on the same ship and in the same room type as your friends. Two families, same sailing, same cabin, different rules. Cruise promos are targeted by country of residence. In the US, you'll often see refundable deposits, a free drinks promo, or a longer final payment window. Book from the UK, Canada, Australia, or parts of Asia, and the fine print can flip. Non-refundable fares, tighter terms, and pricier Wi-Fi. It's just business. Knowing your market's perks puts you ahead. Here's a real 2025 example. Same Royal Caribbean sailing US. You might get a free drinks promo worth around $70 a day. Book that same sailing from Australia, and you'll probably have to pay about $50 a day for the same perk. Before you put money down, ask via hotline or app, what promotions apply to my country of residence for this exact sailing? Get the answer in writing. Hidden extras, like a $50 onboard credit, sometimes exist in Asia or UK. Market promos, but are easy to miss if you don't ask. Here's a 2025 twist. MSC and Princess are rolling out more perks for the Asia market, think discounted or even free shore tours. But for US cruisers, you still win on refundable deposits and those extra onboard credits. Now let's move to secret number 4. Most people pick a cabin for the view or how close it is to the elevators. Experienced cruisers know location matters more. On many ships, Deck 14 sits right under the pool, gym, or buffet, which means early morning, chair scraping, sound checks, and steady foot traffic above your head. It looks perfect on the deck plan, until day 2 when you're hearing everything through the ceiling. If you want quiet, aim midship on decks 8 to 10. Sandwiched between passenger decks. That sweet spot is usually the most stable and least noisy. No buffet overhead, no theater underneath. It's a small decision that can decide your sleep. Still convenient, minus the 6 a.m. alarm clock of someone dragging a lounger above you. Rest handled, privacy next, how Face ID and medallions work behind the scenes. You're not just blending into the crowd. From the moment you board, facial recognition and your keycard or medallion start doing quiet work in the background. They speed up embarkation, help security match faces to bookings, and on lines like Princess, the Ocean Medallion can even pinpoint you in real time. So, a crew member can find you, bring a drink, or pop your cabin door open the second you're in range. It's slick and it saves time, but it also means the ship has a pretty good idea of where you are for most of the day. Cameras cover hallways, elevators, and open decks, mostly for safety, lost and found, and service recovery. You can't shut the system off entirely, yet you don't have to hand over more data than you're comfortable with. Use the medallion as a key, not a lifestyle tracker. When the app asks for background location or personalized offers, say no unless you truly want them. And skip activity tracking tied to shopping. The cruise line will call it smart cruising. You get to decide how smart it needs to be for you. Tracking handled, let's pivot to something low-tech that saves space and cash. Want to pack lighter and still smell like a fresh start? Follow the hidden laundry signs. Many ships keep a small self-service laundry for guests, but it won't always show up on the deck plan or the daily program, because the line would rather sell the per-item service that can hit $60 for a small bundle. Do one simple thing on day one. Ask your cabin steward whether the guest laundry is open this sailing and when it's quiet. They'll point you to late-night windows or mid-cruise stretches when half the ship is ashore. If you bring a couple of travel-sized detergent pods, you can wash and dry a full load in under an hour for just a few dollars. It's a quiet win, clothes stay fresh, the suitcase stays light, and your budget stays intact. Secret number 7, coming in hot, embarkation chaos. Solved. When a few thousand people board at once, the elevator scene turns into a slow-motion jam. Long lines, crammed cars, rolling suitcases wedged at every angle. There's a quiet workaround most cruisers never use. During check-in hours, many ships temporarily open a couple of crew elevators to passengers to thin out the crowd. The trick is knowing how to ask. As you enter the terminal or the moment you step aboard, find a crew member and ask politely and clearly if any staff elevators are open for embarkation. You'll be surprised how often they'll point you to one, especially on lines like MSC and Carnival that quietly do this at peak times. Those cars are usually faster, less packed, and they'll drop you closer to your deck without the 10-minute wait to go a single floor. One courteous question saves time, lowers your stress, and keeps you from working up a sweat before vacation even starts. And yes, the crew will appreciate that you asked rather than tried to slip in. Next, a port day move that changes everything at tender ports. When the ship anchors offshore, everyone funnels to small tender boats. Lines bake in the sun, stairways clog, and the whole process crawls, unless you know this. If you're a senior or even just a bit unsteady with steps, go to guest services the day before a tender stop and politely request mobility priority. You don't need a wheelchair or a doctor's note. Simply explain that boarding a small, moving boat is tricky for you. Most lines handle it quietly and kindly. They'll assign you an early tender group or a priority card, so you're not standing for an hour in a crowded hallway or navigating narrow stairs while the ship rocks. The result is a calmer start ashore, less fatigue, and more time to enjoy the port instead of queuing for it. It's not advertised, but it's there for those who ask, and it makes a real difference. Back on board, there's a comfort check almost nobody does. Your cabin's air. Most cruise HVAC recirculates air through shared ducts between cabins and decks. It keeps temperatures steady, but the mix can carry faint traces of cleaning agents, a whiff of galley smoke, even tiny engine particulates, nothing dangerous for most people. Yet if you're sensitive, The dull headache or stuffy feeling shows up fast. Give yourself a reset the first hour you're in the room. If you've got a balcony, crack the door for a few minutes to swap the air. Then let the AC stabilize the humidity again. No balcony? Run the bathroom exhaust fan for a short burst to pull air through the space. It does more than clear steam. On longer itineraries, a palm-sized travel purifier punches way above its weight and makes the room feel cleaner by day 5 than it did on day 1. It's not a glamorous tip, but it's the difference between fine and I actually feel good in here, especially after a hot port day. Time for a money saver that hides in plain sight on port days. People assume specialty dining is always pricey. Here's the quiet pattern. When the ship is docked and most guests are ashore, those venues sit half empty, and that's when the best deals appear. To fill tables, many lines quietly roll out lunch or dinner pricing up to 50% off, especially at the steakhouse, sushi bar, or the Italian spot. You won't usually see it in the app or the daily, you have to ask. Drop by the podium the day before a port and ask, "Any port day specials tomorrow?" More often than not, they'll quote a lower fixed price or throw in an appetizer or dessert. Same chef, same service, calmer room without the sea day surcharge. If you love the experience but not the full fare, book it while the gangways are busy and enjoy what feels like a private restaurant for a fraction of the price. Let's talk food math, because this one trips people up. Cruise lines love the phrase all-inclusive dining. Yes, you can eat 3 meals a day in the main dining room or the buffet without paying extra, but that's not where the ship makes its money. Those menus are designed to be good enough and a little repetitive. By day 4, the familiar chicken reappears, the buffet cycles themes, and portions in the dining room feel just small enough to make you glance at the steakhouse or sushi bar. $30 here, $50 there, and suddenly included doesn't feel so inclusive. Here's the part most guests miss. There are included spots with better food and fewer people if you scout early. Grab-and-go cafes with real sandwiches and salads, a sit-down venue that doesn't require reservations, even themed nights in the main dining room that rival the paid restaurants. The line is quietly betting you'll get bored and open your wallet. You win by mapping the ship's free options on day 1 and rotating through them. You'll spend less, eat better, and discover gems most folks never bother to find. Ready for a tiny tweak that upgrades dinner for free? Most cruisers assume the main dining room only serves what's printed that night. Quiet secret. Almost every ship keeps a list of always available classics that never make it to the page. Grilled salmon, a simple steak, chicken breast, shrimp cocktail. If the menu doesn't hit, just ask and they'll bring it at no extra charge. Side dishes work the same way. Mashed potatoes, vegetables, plain rice, ask politely and they'll sort you out. Frequent cruisers go one step further. If a specialty venue has a signature item, the kitchen will sometimes send a simpler version to the main dining room if you request it. So when the choices feel meh, don't settle. Smile and ask, "Do you have the classic options tonight?" It turns a so-so meal into exactly what you wanted without spending a dime. Time to protect your stomach as much as your wallet. The buffet is the ship's town square, and it's also where food safety can slip if you're not paying attention. Hot items should stay above 140 degrees Fahrenheit, that's about 60 degrees Celsius. Cold dishes should stay below 40 degrees Fahrenheit, or roughly 4 degrees Celsius. At peak times, especially on sea days, pans linger, lids stay open, and foods drift into the danger zone where bacteria multiply fast. That's when those dried out entrees, lonely slices of pizza, and tired salads become a gamble. Tongs, ladles, sauce pumps, and salad bars see hundreds of hands an hour. They're convenient, not sterile. Pick with your eyes and your timing. Made to order stations, eggs, pasta, grills turn over quickly and come off the heat right to your plate. If you'd rather sit and relax, the main dining room is usually stricter about temperatures and handling. Buffets are great when you treat them like a busy food court without a timer. If something looks like it's been sitting, skip it. A couple of smart choices can be the difference between a lazy sea day by the pool and a long afternoon in your cabin wishing you trusted your instincts. Meals sorted, now let's talk about what's in your glass. Tap water on a cruise isn't identical all day, every day. When the ship is docked, it may bunker water from a local source to top up the tanks. And for a short window, the system can blend lines before the onboard RO. UV loop is fully back on its own. It's generally safe, but the taste can shift and sensitive stomachs tend to notice it more in hot ports. Play it safe while the gangways are down, reach for sealed bottles or canned drinks, and go easy on the ice. Once you sail and the ship returns to its closed treatment cycle, the tap is back to its usual standard. It's a tiny tweak that trades a couple of dollars for a much better chance you'll feel 100% on your port day. Since we're on drinks, here's the big money question. A flat fee for unlimited cocktails, wine, beer, sodas, even specialty coffee sounds perfect. The catch is the break even. On most lines, you need roughly 6 to 8 alcoholic drinks a day to come out ahead. That's not 2 pool margaritas, that's morning to night, day after day. Add port days when you're off the ship for hours, or evenings when you're just not in the mood, and the math stops smiling. There's more fine print than the banner suggests. Premium spirits may not be included, bottled water and fresh juices can be extra, and some plans cap how many drinks you can order within a set time. You feel unlimited, but the value lives inside a box the line design. Run your own numbers before you buy. Count your port-heavy days, be honest about how much you'll actually drink, and decide whether you care more about quality than quantity. Often you're better off paying by the glass and bringing the allowed 1 or 2 bottles of wine on board. Same sunsets, smaller bill. Your wallet survived the bar math, let's see if it can relax at the spa. Embarkation Day spa tours are designed to charm you. Soft music, dim lights, a hint of eucalyptus, then a menu that reads $200 for a massage, $300 for a facial, $150 for nails. Those prices are padded because a few days later the exclusive specials appear. Half off hours, midweek bundles, buy 2, get 1. It feels like you outsmarted the system, but even after the discount you're often paying more than a comparable service on land. There's another layer. Many treatments end with a sales pitch. You're barely off the table when a $150 cream or detox package appears in the conversation. Product revenue can rival the treatment itself, and that's part of the plan. If you want the spa vibe without the bill shock, skip the high-ticket treatments and consider a thermal suite pass for the week instead. Saunas, hydro pools, quiet loungers you can use every day on your schedule. Cost per hour plummets, stress does too, and on port days, check shoreside spas, a short walk from the pier, same quality massage, about half the price, and no upsell on your way out. Let's pop one more bubble before your feed does. Unlimited Wi-Fi at sea sounds like streaming sunsets from your balcony and FaceTiming the dog back home. The reality is satellite bandwidth with a lot of people sharing one pipe. The plan may be unlimited on paper, but the fine print does the talking. Speeds get throttled at busy hours, some streaming sites are restricted, and video calls turn into pixel art when the ship is humming. Certain tiers won't even handle messaging well unless you upgrade. A single story crawls, Zoom freezes mid-sentence, and frustration does the upselling. Suddenly, the pricier plan feels necessary. That's by design. Treat ship Wi-Fi as a convenience, not a lifeline. Pre-download movies, playlists, maps, and books before boarding. Stick to lightweight messaging on board. And save anything critical for port when your phone's data or a cafe network will run circles around the ship's connection. Same vacation, fewer spinning wheels. Sticking with Wi-Fi, there's an easy win most cruisers overlook. Buying internet pre-cruise feels smart until the Onboard app throws a mid-voyage flash sale. Lines quietly run in-app discounts of 20 to 40%, especially around the trip's midpoint when demand dips. The play is simple. Open the app once or twice a day and watch for the promo banner. If you already purchased a plan, No stress. On many ships, you can cancel in-app and repurchase at the lower rate with no penalty. Some promos even add bonus minutes or a temporary speed bump. 1 minute of checking can pay for a couple of specialty lattes. Before tapping connect, scan for limited time offer, switch if it's cheaper, and keep your messages and uploads moving without overpaying. Switching gears from megabytes to megabucks, secret number 19. The casino looks like luck, but it runs on math and marketing. Ship casinos look like pure fun slots, chiming, blackjack humming, a server handing you a free drink while you play. Behind the neon, it's a marketing engine. Every time you tap your cruise card at a slot or buy chips at a table, the system logs how much you spend, how long you stay, and how often you return. Hit a certain threshold and you're tagged as high value. That label matters later. Big spenders get offers most guests never see. Casino rates, deep cabin discounts, even comped cruises. Those aren't random acts of generosity, they're calculated bait to bring profitable players back. Casual gamblers get just enough free drinks while playing, a sprinkle of loyalty points to keep them dropping by without noticing the long game. So the casino isn't only collecting this trip's money, it's collecting data to shape your next one. Walk in for entertainment, set a number you're happy to lose, and treat any perk as a bonus, not a reason to chase. Staying with our 25 secrets lens, the next one isn't a store, it's the whole ship. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. A cruise ship isn't just a resort. It's a moving mall designed to invite a few extra dollars out of your pocket, hour by hour. The art auction feels like a chance to snag something rare at sea, but most pieces are mass-produced, with land prices quietly padded. Duty-free sounds magic, yet watches and jewelry often start from a higher sticker than you'd find on shore. That bottle with an exclusive at sea badge? Plenty of ports sell the same label for less. The cadence is deliberate. Buy one, get one, and flash sales pop up on sea days when you're a captive audience and the promenade's your playground. None of it is sinister, it's choreography. Your counter move is simple. Browse for fun, price check before you commit, and give yourself a cooling off lap. If a deal still looks great after a quick search or you genuinely love it, go for it. 9 times out of 10, waiting turns must buy now into nice to look at, better to skip. Secret number 20 showed you the sales floor. Secret number 21 explains who's actually running parts of it. Most guests assume the cruise line runs everything end to end. Not quite. Many of the things you pay extra for are operated by third-party companies under contract. The spa you toured? Often run by a global operator like One Spa World, not the cruise line itself. Gift and watch boutiques are typically managed by retail partners such as Starboard or Harding. Even the photographers snapping you at the gangway and selling prints in the gallery usually work for a concession that pays the line a cut. Why it matters. When something goes wrong, so-so service. A billing hiccup. The cruise line may point you to the vendor, and the vendor points back, unless you know who handles what. Before you drop serious money on a treatment, jewelry, or photos, glance at the receipt header or ask who operates the venue. Having the right name and contact speeds up refunds, avoids runaround, and explains why some guests get quick resolutions while others hit a wall. A tiny bit of detective work saves a lot of sighs later. Keeping our 25 secrets streak alive? Let's step ashore with open eyes. This one's the industry's worst kept secret. Shore tours sold through the ship often carry a steep premium, sometimes close to double what the same operator charges at the pier. That $120 snorkel trip? The very boat waiting outside the terminal may take you for around $60 when you book direct. The difference is the ship's cut for convenience. To be fair, booking with the line includes one huge safety net. If the tour runs late, the ship waits. Book independently and miss all aboard, and the gangway doesn't pause. That fear alone keeps prices high. Seasoned cruisers plan ahead. Most ports have a handful of top-rated local operators on TripAdvisor or Cruise Critic. Reserve directly, leave generous buffer time, and you'll pocket real savings. One more insider move. At some ports, walk 5 to 10 minutes beyond the immediate cruise bubble. Taxi rates, tour quotes, Even souvenir prices drop once you're out of the captive zone. The ship wants you to shop steps from the gangway. Step past it, and you'll see the real value. Secret count? Still climbing. Next stop, the private island postcard. Coco Cay, Castaway Cay, Half Moon Cay. The brochure looks like paradise wrapped into your fare. The beach and the water are included. Yes, the spending starts when you want shade, thrills, or anything that feels premium. Cabanas and clamshells cost extra. Water parks, zip lines, snorkel rentals, also extra. Some dining areas and bars lean pay to play, and prices often run higher than in regular ports because there's no competition and nowhere else to shop. Think of these islands as beautifully controlled environments built to keep you comfortable and buying. Your counter move is simple. Stick to what's included. Pack your own snorkel gear if you like the water, and enjoy the beach, ocean, and breeze the parts they can't upsell. If you truly want to splurge, pick one thing you'll remember and skip the impulse add-ons. Paradise feels the same either way. The receipt doesn't. Secret tally? Almost there. Let's talk about the automatic part of tipping. Every line sells the convenience. Daily gratuities quietly added to your account, usually a set amount per person, per day, and you never have to think about it. The implied story is that the money flows straight to the smiling waiter and the cabin steward who folds your towels into swans. Reality is messier. Those charges are pooled. The front of house team shares with unseen departments, laundry, galley, and other support crews. And on some lines, the pool helps offset wages the company would otherwise cover. You're still supporting the crew, just not in the direct line you probably imagined. Here's the part they don't highlight. You can ask guest services to reduce or remove automatic gratuities. Most people won't because it feels awkward and cruise lines quietly count on that. The seasoned move is different. Leave the automatic amount in place so the wider team gets paid, then tip directly in cash to the people who make your cruise, your room attendant, that bartender who remembers your order, the waiter who goes the extra mile. It puts money in the right hands and, more often than not, comes back to you as thoughtful, extra care. Secret number 25, last stop, below the waterline. You see polished decks, endless food, and a crew that somehow smiles from sunrise to midnight. What you don't see is the city underneath the ship you know. Most crew live below the waterline, in a maze of narrow corridors and small cabins. Running through it all is the I-95, a long, utilitarian artery that connects galleys, laundry, storage, recycling, and security from bow to stern. It's where trays move, uniforms turn over, and the next service is staged before you even sit down. Life down there runs on long contracts and longer days. 70-hour weeks happen, breaks are short. And yet the greeting at your door is warm, the table is reset, and the show starts on time. If a steward misses a towel or a server looks tired, remember the engine room of people making the visible ship run. A kind word goes a mile. A small cash tip to the folks who consistently take care of you goes even farther, and it lands exactly where you mean it to. Once you know how a cruise really runs, the pricing rhythms, the gentle nudges to spend, the systems humming out of sight, you stop playing along and start steering. The dream doesn't go away, it just gets clearer. You sleep better because you picked the right cabin. You eat better without paying extra, and you spend where it actually upgrades your week. And when you pass a crew member in the corridor, you understand the unseen city that makes the magic look effortless. The lines aren't villains, they're businesses. But knowledge shifts the balance. You've now got 25 ways to keep the fun and skip the fluff, so your money lasts longer and your cruise feels more like you. Now it's your turn. Tell me the one secret you learned the hard way, or shout out a crew member who made your sailing. Drop it in the comments. If this helped, tap subscribe and send this to your favorite cruise buddy who still buys the first today only deal. And don't stop here, click the next video on screen. We'll turn these insights into a simple, step-by-step game plan for your next sailing.